Conventional planning suggests you should not take your Social Security as early as age 62. However, if you know some of the ins and outs, there may be some reasons why it may make sense to take it that early. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why it might make sense to take it real early. Before we go there, though, subscribe to our channel. Hit the button so you're alerted to when we post new videos. So in my 32 years of specializing in retirement planning, much of what we do with our clients has been geared around the planning itself and the money management. But in the past 6 or 7 years, we've really honed in on this aspect of the planning and the Social Security to really become a great resource for our clients. And I want to share with you a couple of stories because I think they're very informative in terms of where so many people are, even so many very well-educated, intelligent people who do very well in life who do not make good decisions when it comes to claiming their Social Security. Now, there are 567 different Social Security strategies, so I understand the problem. Most recently, I had a conversation, wasn't a client, just a friend, who's a doctor. Fairly well educated, right? And in his field, he's an expert. And he's been retired now for 5 years. And we were just chit-chatting a little bit. And I just mentioned to him off the top about, spousal benefits on Social Security. And he sort of went silent for a moment. And then we continued on with the conversation. And we spoke again a couple of weeks later. And he said to me, Mark, I called the Social Security office and I realized after talking with them that for the past 5 years, because of our circumstance, my spouse should have been collecting, if I'd done this right, her spousal benefit off of my work record. So I asked him whether or not he's working with an advisor, just curious. And he said he was. And to be honest with you, that's sort of the problem in our industry because most of the advisors or brokers or those who give counsel in this space typically really just deal with the money management. Some deal with some of the income and tax planning, but the Social Security piece, not so much. And fortunately for this individual, he could go back and collect 6 months prior, so he didn't lose the whole 5 years of income for his wife, just 4.5 years. And it amounted to a pretty good amount of money. But even if you are working in it with an advisor, and I find again, and I say this over and over again, I think our industry has done you wrong. We don't ask the right questions. We aren't finding for you that money that is on the table, earmarked for you, unless we really dive into, as we do with our clients and the 7 calculators that we have, to find a way to maximize your Social Security benefit. Now, United Income, and I'll share with you my screen now. United Income said that 96% of people take Social Security at the wrong time. The study went on to say that most people are better off waiting until 70 to claim, where 43% of adults actually are better off claiming before 70. And the big takeaway from the study, really important, by claiming at the right time, more than half of retirees would see income in their 70s and 80s rise by more than 25%. Now that can be a lot of money over the course of a lifetime. Some households could be leaving $200,000, $250,000 on the table. So I really want to dive into this. There's a couple of things I really need for you to understand before we get there, though. If you do take Social Security before your full retirement age, call it somewhere between 66 and 67, and you are still working, you need to be aware of the implications of doing that. And we have a couple of videos on our website that talk about that specifically. So go ahead and take a look at those if you have an interest. The other thing is, the answer for everybody is different. There's health considerations, age considerations, assets. Do you have retirement assets and or personal assets? How long are you working for? All all of this has to come into play, and that's why we have the 7 calculators that we have for our clients. So for every one of you, there is not one boilerplate or templated answer for you. So you really have to do your homework and get somebody who can guide you through this process so you don't leave money behind. So the first reason to take Social Security at age 62 is if you have lost a job or you need income. Recent study has shown that upwards of 50% of people who have retired earlier than they wished to. And for many of them, health might have been the reason to compel them to retire. So one of the things to take a look at before you decide, depending upon your circumstance, to take it at age 62, your regular Social Security benefit, which may get upwards of almost a 30% haircut off of your full retirement age. And again, we've got videos on the site to help you with this. Go navigate them. But you may be eligible for a disability benefit versus taking a haircut for taking your benefit early. And the disability benefit will give you 100% of your full retirement age benefit. And then you may switch to your own work benefit at that point in time. So again, if you need the income, if it was a health-related issue, if you do qualify under the rules for disability to claim that strategy with Social Security, take the disability income first and early, and then switch. You actually get automatically switched at full retirement age, so you don't give up any money. The second reason to take Social Security at 62 is if you are single and you have health issues. So here's the deal. The question is, if you take it at 62 versus, let's say, your full retirement age and your full benefit is at age 67. If you waited to age 67, in other words, you didn't take the checks from age 62 to 67, but you got a higher amount from 67 on. The break-even analysis shows you have to live to somewhere around the age of 78 or 79 to break even. So if you're 62 and you don't think you're going to make it to 78 or 79, you're better off taking the money earlier. Why wait? Because again, if you waited 5 years to age 67, you're not going to get as much money over your shortened life expectancy if that is the case. So if you are single, and if you have health issues that could impact your longevity, you might want to consider taking Social Security at age 62. So obviously we're talking about getting prepared for retirement. So the question is, are you prepared? So in our banner, I do have for you a quick 2-minute quiz. Very easy. Once you complete the quiz, we'll score it for you, give you which one of the 3 stages of retirement you are in, which will give you some clarity about how well prepared you are. And also, I'll give you a free first chapter of my new book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, along with a couple of worksheets that will really help you get started to prepare for this new chapter of life. Reason number 3 to take Social Security at age 62 may be if you're eligible for a survivor benefit. So let me take you to my screen for just a minute. So depending upon what your work record is and what your full retirement age benefit is, you may be better off taking the survivor benefit early and then switching at age 70 to your own work record. So here are the numbers. Let's assume your full retirement age benefit is $1,500, but your survivor benefit is $1,750. You could take your regular benefit off of your full retirement age and you would get $1,050. Or you could take your survivor benefit early and with a little bit of a haircut, you'd end up with actually more money, $1,394. So let's say at age 62, you took the $1,394 and then you waited till age 70 and switched to your own benefit which would then give you about $1,860 in benefits, plus any cost of living available. So that's one scenario where you may want to take a look at taking your benefit early. It may make sense to you. And the other thing that you have to understand is, and this is very important to remember, and I've talked to too many people who don't understand this, you can make a strategy shift or switch your claim as many times as need be. You could take your survivor benefit early and then take your own. You could take a spousal benefit, then take your own, and then your own spouse may die, and you may end up with a survivor benefit. You are eligible for different claiming strategies. You can only take one at a time, but we recommend taking the greatest amount each time. And again, that's where the calculators come into play. The fifth reason, final one, are spousal issues. And here is where I find that most people make their big mistakes. They don't understand the impact sometimes of taking it early versus taking it later. Our industry, again, talks a lot about shifting it so you take it later, but particularly with some spousal issues, some strategies of advanced planning, you may be better off to take it earlier. So let's address a couple of those. So first of all, if your spouse is younger than you and has lower earnings, that probably, we don't know this, but just on actuarial tables, they'll outlive you. So they may be better off taking their spousal benefit early, and then they'll be eligible for your survivor benefit later based on your work record when you pass at a later point in time. Again, switching. You can claim one strategy now and one strategy later. We don't know exactly how things are going to work out, right? We're just sort of playing the probabilities here, working through the planning. And then you have to make a personal choice in terms of what you think is right for you and your family. The flip side of that is if your spouse is younger than you but has health issues, and it may be that that individual may not outlive you. This is actually a scenario where you want to delay taking your benefit because you're going to outlive your spouse and you're going to need more money later on. So don't take the haircut early on and take it at 62 here. One thing to remember, very important here as we go through the planning and you think about what do I need now? What do I need later? The spousal benefit will accrue and grow if you defer it up to their full retirement age. Beyond full retirement age, there's no more growing the benefit. Versus the survivor benefit, it can continue to grow and defer till age 70. And again, we've got a couple of videos here on the channel that will help to inform you more about that. But as you can see, a lot of this, there's no tried and true absolute answer for you, but I want to break through some of the myths that are out there and say, you know what, sometimes it is better to take it later, sometimes earlier. We just showed you some of those, but a lot of it has to deal with health issues, age, assets, need, income need, etc., family. So really make sure that you've got some guidance with you, deal with the calculators to get good answers for you. And this is what the whole 7-step process is that we take our clients through. So take a look at our playlist so you can get more informed as to what you need to do to prepare yourself for the next chapter of life.